Hello, and welcome to the Reselling Report for today, Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. I'm your host, Ann Eckhart, and every weekday morning I upload the Reselling Report here to YouTube to update you on the day's retail and e-commerce news, including the latest from eBay, Amazon, Etsy, and Poshmark. If you haven't done so already, I hope you'll subscribe. And now let's get on with today's show. Well, happy hump day, everyone. We're halfway through the week, coming up here on Memorial Day weekend, although this year it's going to be a very different weekend. Usually people are traveling, they're doing a lot of things outside. I don't know what it'll look like this weekend. I don't think people are traveling, but they may be out in their local area. We shall see what happens. Typically for reselling, at least for me, eBay is very slow on a holiday weekend because people are out doing other things. And there is very little sourcing. People aren't having garage sales, whatnot. In my area, the thrift stores have yet to open. There are two Goodwills and another thrift store in my immediate area that have yet to open. The Goodwill of Central Iowa, which is in the Des Moines area, announced this week that they're closing 4 stores. The bins are currently closed there. They're going to move the bins due to the economic impact of COVID-19 and needing to rework things for social distancing reasons. So no thrift stores in my area, but again, there are only 3, have gone under. But it is interesting to see that in and around the Des Moines area that 4 stores are closing. They do hope, they say, that maybe they can reopen some things later on, but the impact of the virus shutting them down for so long has affected their ability to run stores. So let me know, have any thrift stores in your area have had to close permanently due to the pandemic? There's not much news from the reselling sites themselves today. I'll be getting into some more general e-commerce and retail news here in a moment, but there is a new episode of the eBay for Business podcast, episode 91, Summer Success, Seller Check-In and Shipping Updates. You can listen to the show or you can read the transcript. It will be linked in the show notes below the video. This week, they're talking to Mickey Ross of Poster Pro, talking about shipping during COVID-19, International Standard Delivery, the Global Shipping Program, International Standard Delivery, why is that in there twice? Shipping delays by service and country, USPS pickup, the seller help page, and our favorite topic, managed payments. So if you want to dive in and hear what the eBay for Business team is discussing on those topics, you can head over to the new podcast. There are some new posts over on the Poshmark Facebook page. They have a positivity thread, what's one thing you're proud of, big or small. And then they also have another thread, what was the first thing you sold on Poshmark? And that's a pretty active thread with a lot of people sharing the first items that they ever sold on Poshmark. If you're interested in going over there, reading those and sharing yours. Then over on the Posh Life by Poshmark blog, there are new seller spotlights up featuring 4 Poshmark sellers. It says, welcome to Seller Spotlight, where you'll learn more about awesome sellers from different stages in the Poshmark journey. Our community is made up of sellers who posh full-time, do this as a side hustle, those who are just getting started, and so many other ways that fit different lifestyles and goals. This week, we're highlighting 4 amazing poshers with diverse backgrounds for running a successful boutique from starting selling in Canada. So interviews with these 4 women are over on the Posh Life blog. Did you know that you can buy homemade baked goods on Etsy? This is something I saw recently, and there is a new story over on thedailybeast.com that's titled, If You Can't Go to Your Favorite Bakery, Get Some Handmade Baked Goods on Etsy. Etsy is the marketplace for all things comforting right now, including dessert. The article reads, these days, we're all looking online for a sense of normalcy. We're ordering groceries, necessities, clothing to keep us living our lives like it was before quarantine, to the best of our abilities. There's one aspect that I didn't think about until I was stuck inside, stopping at my favorite bakery for a pastry. While everyone else is trying to bake bread, I can barely get cookies to work out. So my only option is to look to the gods of the World Wide Web. Some of my local favorites are doing delivery, but they sell out quickly. That's where Etsy comes in. The Wall Street Journal did a deep dive into why people are looking to the marketplace to fix their sweet tooth. And we're here to round up some stellar standouts in the way of scones and biscuits and bread and cookies, but I had to keep up the alliteration. This is the author, right? So they have Sweet Bell Cake's Oreo cheesecake cookies. Then Otto's Worldwide Imports has extra large black and white cookies. The Boardwalk Pound Cake has, a Greek butter cookie that I don't want to mispronounce, but those look good. Then they have Chickens in the Road biscuits. Talk about sweet gourmet mini pies. Dulcet whoopie pies, gourmet gift baskets. So those are just some of the sellers on Etsy who are making sweets and treats and baked goods. Have you ever purchased food from Etsy? I'd love to hear about that. Maybe I should bake up some cookies and sell them. No, I won't. Why do I even think out loud that I'm going to do that? I don't have time to do what I want, other stuff I have to get done. I'm not going to be selling cookies, but kudos to those who are. These look really good. Now I want to go over and buy some myself. Whether you are shipping packages as a reseller or receiving packages as a buyer, what's going on with these shipping services is always something to be aware of. There's a new article over on CNBC.com titled FedEx and Microsoft are teaming up to deliver packages, widening the gap with Amazon. The points of this article are that Microsoft and FedEx announced a joint multi-year partnership Monday that the pair believe could help transform commerce. Its first service, FedEx Surround, will allow companies to better track their supply chain and improve shipping times. The announcement comes just months after the shipping giant canceled its partnership with Microsoft rival Amazon. So this article will be linked in the show notes below if you want to go over and read it. But it is interesting as Amazon continues to dominate everything that companies are now teaming up together to try to take on Amazon or at least keep their share of the service. I typically get most of my Amazon packages. I feel they come through the post office, but there are some that come via UPS. So it's interesting. We'll see what Microsoft and FedEx, how this partnership works for them in competing with Amazon. COVID-19 has been devastating to brick and mortar retail and restaurants. Another casualty is Pier 1 Imports. They are looking to wind down their business as soon as reasonably possible once their stores are able to reopen in order to liquidate. They had been looking for a buyer to take over the business, but they were not able to find one. With COVID-19 happening, Wayfair has been eating into their sales, and so they are looking to get approval in bankruptcy court to liquidate when they are able to reopen stores. Now, Pier 1 has a loyal following, and there are a lot of items that are branded as Pier 1. So it's definitely something to look out for as a reseller. If you have a Pier 1 import in your store, in your area, and the store starts to liquidate and they get down to a good percentage off, it's something to think about purchasing to resell. Their candles, their potpourri, they have dishes, they have a lot of small collectible items that are very collectible. And if Pier 1 Imports is gone, they're going to be even more collectible. We don't have a Pier 1 Imports anymore in my area. They closed several years back. But if you do have one, keep your eyes out for when they do reopen and begin to liquidate. You might be able to get some great inventory to flip in the future once the stores are officially closed. Another department store that's been hurting for a long time is Dillard's. And in my area, the Dillard's at the mall closest to me is closing, which is really devastating for this particular mall. Well, we have two malls and they're both devastated, but this mall has now lost JCPenney, Sears, Yonkers, and now Dillard's. Dillard's had built an addition onto the mall when they opened years back, so that is a huge part of the mall that is going to close. Sounds like if in the next few months that location is closing. Again, Dillard's has been in trouble for a while. Now, this isn't Dillard's closing everything, but they are once again downsizing their stores. So that will be something that I look at for resale when they do start to liquidate. Department stores are always tricky because, number one, they'll move the good inventory to the stores that are still open. And number two, they do work with liquidators directly. So it's hard sometimes to find good deals when department stores do close because they have a way to move their inventory in other ways. But I'll keep an eye on it when it does decide to open back up so that they can then start to close again. A handful of other retail headlines. Olive Garden plans to reopen more than 60% of their dining rooms by May. Walmart earnings soared as e-commerce sales jumped and shoppers flocked to stores, whereas Kohl's sales tanked almost 44% as coronavirus slammed the retailer. So Essential stores that have been open during this time, Walmart, Target, Amazon, they've done really well, but stores like Kohl's, JCPenney, not so much. In JCPenney news, though, Amazon is looking to potentially buy JCPenney. So that's a really interesting development. It seemed like yesterday on the show, I talked about JCPenney going into bankruptcy and what that could mean for the future of the retailer, but Amazon must see something good in JCPenney if they're thinking about purchasing it. So that's something to keep an eye on. While loungewear and pajama sales have skyrocketed during the coronavirus outbreak with more people at home, luxury fashion has really taken a hit. There's a new article over on CNBC titled, "I Want to Scream a Lot, How Designer Rebecca Minkoff is Pivoting Her Business and Trying to Stay Positive." The article reads, "Navigating the economic fallout from the coronavirus pandemic has not been easy for small businesses. Fashion designer Rebecca Minkoff is no exception. It's the longest, most exhausting days of my life," she said, and the co-founder of her own fashion line is 39 years old. That's interesting. She's younger than me. "I want to scream a lot, but I have to stay positive. I'm a fighter, and that's the only way I know how to get through this." Minkoff isn't disclosing her sales figures, but she did note that in 2019, her sales were north of 100 million. And she's not giving details about how much money she's lost, but she said that she has lost 70% of her business with the temporary closure of department stores. "We had to, being the worst week of my life, do some layoffs, do some furloughs, make aggressive pay cuts across the board," said Minkoff, who normally resides in Brooklyn, New York, but is quarantining with her husband and kids in nearby Long Island. Her story is similar to many small businesses trying to survive right now. Many have had to close their in-person operations or shut down completely. That's led to cuts. 36% have reduced their own pay and 8% have cut their employees' pay. Of those surveyed, 13% have furloughed some or all of their employees, and 11% have laid off some or all of their employees. For Minkoff, surviving means changing the way she does business. Now with 25 remaining employees, she's focusing solely on being a direct-to-consumer company. And this is what I find interesting, jumping now into e-commerce where brands normally relied on the brick-and-mortar stores. So it does make me wonder what that will mean for fashion resellers. Will you have more competition directly from brands? There are brands that sell directly on eBay and Poshmark. So I think Minkoff is one to watch. It's a pretty popular brand, and I see that picked up with resellers who are heavy into reselling clothing. So this article will be linked in the description box below the video if you want to read the whole thing. But more retailers moving out of the brick and mortar and online. How will that affect those of us as resellers who will now be in direct competition with them? We'll just have to see how it all plays out. And that's a wrap on today's show. I know it was a little shorter, but like I said, there wasn't too much from the reselling sites themselves today. But if you did like today's show, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And please leave me a comment, even if it's just a hello or an emoji. You guys have been doing that. It really is helpful with YouTube's algorithm. Check out the show notes below the video for links to the articles I referenced. You can also email me your questions or reseller stories. My email is below. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.